All right, it's another great day, of course. Welcome to the other side of the news, flip side. And today we're talking about something really a bit funny because this set of people, the names they even call them, I laugh. The generation before these ones, they call them the millennials. And then we have the generation Z. And then after these ones, we have the alpha generation, and it just goes on and on. Some people did not even know that they pair people born within a decade and give them a name. But today you will know that. Now, the social landscape has actually witnessed significant changes with the emergence of the Generation Z, or as they call themselves, the Gen Z. They comprise individuals born between the mid-1990s and the early 2010s. So, as this generation comes of age, it is crucial to examine the unique social vices that they face in today's digital era. Gen Z, characterized by their deep integration with technology and their interconnectedness, faces a series of social challenges that are distinct from the previous generations, from mental health issues to cyberbullying to substance abuse to societal pressures. So the Gen Z is grappling with a range of vices that demands our attention and our proactive solutions. In this discuss today, we will delve into these social vices, exploring their origins, the consequences, and promising we'll still give approaches to mitigate their impact on the well-being of this generation Z and also the future of the generation after them. And by dissecting these issues, we actually hope to foster a deeper understanding and encourage a collective effort to support and empower this vibrant technological know-how generation, the Gen Z. So today we'll be addressing some social vices faced by the Gen Z. I'm Daisy Leah Sakidi, your host, and discussing this today with me on the show are going to be two people, but you'll get to meet one first at this first half of the show, and she's Blessing Tolua. Should I stop it there?
Okay, no. I'm Tosin Tolua Lojo.
Okay, sorry, Precious. I prefer to call you. Can I call you Precious?
Okay, I like, I'm a Nigerian. I like the Africa way, Loa Tosin.
Oh dear God.
Tolua Lojo.
Okay, fine. I actually call her Precious. I know her as Precious, so I'm just so used to that. But okay, so you said I should call you. I should stick to your Yoruba name today. Eh?
Yes.
So we'll call her Tosin on the show. Okay, so we're just going to talk about the Gen Z. And before this discussion even came up, did you know there was a generation like the Gen Z, a group of people called Gen Z?
Yes, I do know.
That's your generation.
The 90s to 2010.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, looking at these people born between, let's just say, 1995 to 2015, what are some of the major challenges you think they're facing at the moment?
Okay, basically the Gen Z generation is a generation that is characterized by information. Like they have access to information. They grew up with the internet. They grew up in the digital age. Even the ones that they really do not know so much about the internet, the knowledge is everywhere. And all of that. So some of the challenges that they face is some of them have mental health issues, which is usually being caused by pressures here and there, wanting to meet up with societal standards and all of that. And this can cause depression. We now have an high rate of unemployment because you're not able to meet up with the required set. The world is evolving, technology is evolving as well. You're not able to meet up with the requirements for unlike when you just come out of school and you're a graduate. In fact, our lecturer used to tell us then that when he was in school that they give them food and everything, there's a job waiting for you. And I'm like, my generation, is there a job actually waiting for me? By fate, maybe.
Yeah. You have to face it.
But really, you would need to upskill. Yeah, because you have to upskill, you have to be technologically inclined. So some of these challenges are unemployment, which has caused so many things, like so many. We now have persons who now do cyber crime, who they not even see that it's a normal thing to do. We know that two wrongs cannot make a right, and they tend to justify it. True. Actually, they tend to justify it, and which is actually wrong.
Interesting. Um, she's a fresh graduate too. So this one, there's no job waiting anywhere. I need to let you know that. And that's actually one of the major problems. Unemployment is so high for this set of people, and the standards are super high for them because everyone is so techy. The millennials, they weren't so pressured about the computers, although we
Yeah.
still are helping ourselves, learning new things, trying to upgrade so that they will not leave us behind. I'm just wondering how the generation before us, that we are the generation Y now, the generation before us, how they're even coping at the moment. So when we're even talking about those ones, and their issues would be the fact that they don't understand where we're coming from, where we're going to. But
Yeah.
yes, you mentioned mental health issues. You also mentioned the pressures from the internet. You talked about not really pressures on the internet, but you talked about how cyber stalking and um, internet fraud is now a thing, and it's a normal thing for this generation. It's not frowned at. Well, do you think that online platforms could possibly be contributing to enhancing these vices as making it normal? Like and social media platforms could be a reason why this is normal for them.
Okay, yeah, to an extent, I think so. Because some of those things that we adopt are things that we see on socials, things that we see our celebrity do, things that we see, persons that we hold in high esteem, the popular culture is now like the normal thing. So I think those online platform actually, contribute to these vices. If we have our online platform curated in such a way that it's kind of meets our societal standard. This is Nigeria, this is Africa. We have our cultural beliefs. Yes, I know that we want to evolve. We also want to, improve on some of them. But then, what is right is right. For instance, I should, as a Nigerian, I should know that in the morning I should greet. But you can see the Gen Z say that they are Gen Z and they say, hi. It's not normal. It's not our culture. So some of these things, where did they learn it from? They learned it
Online.
from, maybe while watching a video online or something and all of that. So yes, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about the mental health part of it. There's a comedian I really respect because, okay, I just used to love his comedies. He makes a lot of sense and is really funny while making that sense. And then I recently met him at an event and realized that he's very, very churchy. I like people who practice a religion and they're proud of it. So um, even without necessarily being fanatical. So I was so impressed. And then he made a statement at that event that this generation we have now, they now see drug abuse as a norm. And those who are not abusing drugs are the weirdos. So you've never, like, it's just like you're introducing yourself to someone and then they're asking, what's your favorite food? That's how this generation, this Gen Z generation, introduce themselves and talk about drugs. Which one have you taken? So when you say you've never abused the drug, you've never taken um, any of these drugs, the ones that give you the blue lip, the blue tongue, you've not taken pills, you don't take cocaine, you're not on colos, you're not on anyone, you're going to be wondering like, where you from come? So let's talk a bit about the mental health aspect of this Generation Z and how it's now so normal. Why are parents not doing enough to caution these people? And what's the impact if we don't address this, their excessive substance usage? What do you think this will mean for the next generation?
Okay, so I think I'll take it first from the fact that drug abuse and every other thing is not looking like normal, and why parents are not doing enough. So, being that the Gen Z is the 1990s, and our parents, some of them they are not part of the Gen Z generation, and some of them are actually not. There's some parents that they are so naive, like they just feel like, my child is a good child. not knowing that yes, the child is a good child, but the child, there's something called socialization. Angles, is it angles of socialization, where we have the family, we have peer pressure, we have the church, we have school, and all of that. Agents of socialization, that's the word. And you should know that, yes, the family is the first point of socialization. So as a parent should do their work, train your child. But you should also keep in mind that while I'm training my child, a friend somewhere can tell that child, can give the child a false information, like, okay, this thing is actually good. My parents do, they do this thing, or this thing is right, and all of that. So as a parent, if you are able to have a good communication with your child, because that's one of the things I've noticed with my conversations with friends. I stayed in school hostel for about 3 years before I moved out of school hostel. So some of them, they don't have a close relationship with their parents. They don't, the only thing that they know how to do is to ask their parents for money. Hello, please send me money. That is the conversation. There's no conversation of how are you? How is school? What are the challenges that you are facing? Who are your friends? And all of that. So I think our parents need to, need to improve on this. They should work on, creating a very good relationship. And they should try to understand the perspective of the Gen Z. Some of us will say our parents are old school. Yeah, we say because they don't understand. But when, for instance, I had a conversation with my mom recently came on socials, and she saw a post, and she now called me that, I saw this post though. What do you think? And I said, as an open, I just told her, this is not bad. I was like, it's not bad. How do you say that it's not bad? So, like, she just started, like, criticizing. I was like, I know that it's okay. If it's not bad, let me understand why it's not bad. So you should explain to me. Yes. That's why we are talking. Yeah. So not that you just,
just condemn without giving reasons.
Yes. So that's it. But communication, I think our parents should improve on communication with their children, not just watch over, it's not just by giving them money, watch over their well-being in totality. And also the second question is that the impact. What's the impact of this? It means that, one, I would say our cultural, we start having a degradation, like in our cultural tenets. Like we now have people who are kind of disrespectful. They'll tell you that they are outspoken. They'll tell you that they are trying to be bold. Because I'm like, you are rude. This is not how to talk. You're rude. Like, talk politely. It's not, but in the name of, okay, I'm fighting for my rights. Yeah. I'm expressing myself and everything. So that's one of the things that personally I've noticed. And it's really not nice. It's telling on us. Then another thing is that we now have persons who they are no longer, resilience is no longer there. The next thing, when you're faced with challenges, you want to back down. You just like to take a course so you can forget about everything. Why? You should face it heads on. That's life. Like, we should be able to be, and that's one of the things that we are being characterized with as Africans. We are resilient people. So that character is gradually, fading away. I know that we are doing a whole lot, yes. But
we're going through a lot.
We're going through a lot as well. But for me, that's it.
Okay, so
some of the things.
All right, I'll just pause you there. We'll go on a quick break on the show, and when we return, we'll talk some more. Okay, so I still have Tosin with me in the studio, and we're addressing some of the Gen Z social vices. These particular issues are faced by everyone, yes, in Nigeria at the moment, or even some parts of the world. But these sets of age group, they carry the burden the most because they are exposed to the computer. They are the ones who grew up with it. They understand it a lot more than the people before them. I know the children that are born today, I don't know what generation these ones will be called, but they even do much more. They have tabs. They pick up your remote control. They show you things on your television you don't know exist. But the introduction of good computers started with the Generation Z. So the exposure started from there. And these are the people that started the old thing called Yahoo. Now, but we don't do Yahoo. They don't call it Yahoo anymore. There are other names for it, and very funky names to call these things. And so I have Tosin with me, and we're talking about this. But let's talk a bit about the economic situation in Nigeria at the moment, and how do you think it affects this Generation Z? How can or what role? Let me put it like this: what role does social what how does the current economic climate affect the social problems faced by the Generation Z?
Okay, so first, we know that things has really gone up. Inflation everywhere, the cost of um, the cost of living, especially, has really skyrocketed. That's something that it's not as it's now more compared to
Before.
previous years and everything. Like I was thinking while I was coming for this program, like when they told us that they've increased NYC salary to 33K, Nigerians were happy. Like
Okay, 3K by.
it was they were really really happy. Like from 18K to that's something. But really, should we compare? Like in fact I feel like the 18,000 of then was way bigger than the 33K of now.
Very true.
I'll give you a very good example. So before my final exams, my parents sent money to me to like get provision so I don't break down. Unlike before, if I go to the market, in fact I will even cook chicken stew. I will still have change. But when I went to the market, I was just crying. I got confused on how to spend the money. Like, how do I even spend this money? There are so many things that are important. Well, how do I start spending this money? So it makes us to see that a lot of things have changed. And the economic situation is not really, really favorable. And yes, I know that we can take advantage of it yes, we can also take advantage of it, but then the downsides are kind of more. Because if we should look at the average allowance, like how much an average person earns in Nigeria, and the prices of things and everything, how are they able to like meet up with the demands of the society? They have to pay their bills. In fact, this generation have more bills to pay. They really have more bills to pay because of societal pressure and everything. You want to look good, you want to get a good clothes, you want to get a good shoe, you don't want to look like the day that let's not look like what we are going through. You want data subscription is something. In fact, I said there are times that you charge 1 gig and can take you for a month, but right now 1 gig a day it's gone.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how it happens, but I just feel like there's something going on there. So all of these things, the economic situation is not really favorable, and the impact is not all favorable as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we will talk a bit about solutions. We're going to give solutions. We're going to suggest many things because we promised earlier. But let's also talk about let's focus a bit about solution now. What role does social activism play in addressing the social problems that the Generation Z is facing? What role do you think social activism can play?
Okay, one of the things that I feel like it can play is mental support. Yeah, so thank God for social media. A lot of persons used to say social media, like really, social media has so much advantage. It's just that some persons in my generation do not know what social media can do for them. Social media is currently paying some persons, like they make their money from socials and everything. So one of the things that it has made available for us is that it has helped to give voice to the voiceless. In the sense that we know the hashtag that trended one time, Black Lives Matters, justice for this, justice for that, and all of these things started from social media. So when one person is like, even people raise funds for people through social media, tell you support this person, and before you know, there's fundraising to help this particular person and all of that. So social activity, one of the roles that it can play is to give mental support. Let's have it in such a way that there should be this automation. Like for instance, some sites have it, like you're going through something, you can just talk to somebody and just say, oh, maybe you should sleep, maybe you should take a rest, maybe you should do social detox session, like all of those things, give you suggestion and all of that. Then another role that social activism can play, it can bring our government, it can make our government accountable. I think that was one of the things that the enterprise crisis did. Yeah, it's made them on their toes. Like You know that there's power in social media. A lot of persons were lending their voice from the international community, you know, everywhere towards a particular cause. So it really made them like, it shook us like really, really well, like we really need to do something. And even with the presidential election, all of this, they started from socials, like little, and everywhere. And so that's just it. It basically would help, like I said, mental support, giving voice to voiceless, holding governments accountable, and all.
Okay. Some of the older generations might not totally agree that we are even more vocal now. They just feel we make a lot of noise. Then let's not, the Gen Z are just a bunch of noisemakers. Because according to my dad, when he was still alive, he'll tell you that in their time, when government does something wrong, all they need to do is to ensure that students, especially tertiary institution students, protest. And when they protest, everybody's running here and there trying to do something. But in this generation, we'll protest, we'll rally around, we'll go online, and nothing seems to be working. But it's okay. And now let's talk a little bit about body image and this generation and how they're dealing with it. Something I realized is very common with the people born between from that 1995 down. In fact, even below the Generation Z to the Alpha generation down, is a crave for a perfect body. The ladies have a standard figure they need to have. The men need to be muscled up. You just have to be. Then almost all the ladies are light skinned. Now only you can remain. You know, you're not wearing earrings as well. In fact, this is your generation, we query you. So there's extreme desire to look a certain way. And what does that mean? Well, when you even see all these body enhancements, the people sell. People are making money from it too. In fact, I think I'll change business. People are making so much money. When you even see them online, what comes to mind? And what message would you give to this generation about body enhancements?
Okay.
It might be long. Even if you don't finish it, we'll carry it over after the news headlines are too.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, that's why I feel like there's need for orientation. We've lost ourselves in the name of I want to be this. We have this particular image in our minds, and we've eventually lost ourselves. It's okay for you to admire somebody and say, but then you shouldn't write that person's book. You're not acting that person's script. So I think it was during 2020. I was not this chubby. In fact, I'm chubby now. I was very tiny. But I think COVID helped my life. And I started adding up.
Angel.
And I started, oh my God. It was really a big deal for me. Like, really a big deal. I remember I would always cry to my mom and say, okay, I started skipping meals so that I would slim down. You know, everybody like, you don't add weight, so you know, you go like, you know, all of this, and I'm like, if I had weight, it's not a good thing. Like, it's a good thing at least. But no, they make it seem like it's not good, like it's bad if you don't watch it, this and all of that. Apart from health factor, I don't see any reason why you should want to like be in a particular shape. Like, I want to be slim, I want to be this. For health factor, beautiful, you need to, you know, keep yourself. Your well-being is very important. But aside that, why? It's because that's what they've painted to us. Socials, what we see on our TV screens, when we log into social media platforms, that is what they've painted. They've given us this image that this is the right way. Like, this is the way, walk in it. No, it's actually not the right way. Our parents, our mothers, they were chubby people. They, you know, in their black African, they were beautiful that way and everything. But no, we want to work at that. So I feel like we really need to do a form of orientation. We need to do a form of communication. And some of them, it's self-esteem issue. Yeah, they have low self-esteem. They just feel like if they are not this way, then they are not good, they are not perfect. But when these things, when we talk about it, even our education system really need to That's why I used to tell someone that they used to give us a half-baked education because
It's always about the courses. Just keep reading it.
Yeah, just keep doing it. They don't tell us how we can thrive, how we can live life, teach us life skills, teach us, comportment, teach us how to, all of those things are things that we should actually look for.
We'll pause you there.
Okay.
I know I told you we'll take it to after the break. We have to go on another quick break, and when we come back, we'll just take it off from the body image thing, the self-esteem issue, and we'll also talk a little bit about the corporate names that these people give to the wrong things. Like, how many of you know that they don't call prostitutes anymore? They don't prostitute, they do hook up. Like, that's so cool, hook up. All right, so these and many more after the break. All right, so it's flip side, and we're addressing some vices faced by the Generation Z, and top on the list is mental issues, which we've been able to attribute to a lot of drug abuse and social media influence. And then we've also talked about the issue of the economy driving people to substance abuse as well. And then they also face the problem of the computer in general, not just the how to handle it, what to do when you're there, how to make the most of it. And there's just so much opportunities in there and so many other issues. And then right now we're addressing the issue of self-esteem, which has led to bleaching of our skins, which has led to people extorting us in the name of slim teas. I don't think those things work, but maybe some do. You hear things like bomb enlargement creams. People are making money online with it. Even Kayamata self, they're selling it. This generation, they patronize. It's something you use to get love, something you use, and when you find love, you get money from the love, and on and on and on. Let's not even start talking about how much people go under the knife. This generation, they fear surgery. Now, before then, when people want to even do surgeries as simple as appendicitis, you see the mothers of the children praying, going to church, fasting. Pastor will have to even prophesy that you will go and come back. But this generation, they wake up and say, I think I don't like the way my jaw is. I need to go and do a surgery to fix it. They just do surgeries like God. It's normal for them. So we're talking about body image, and before we went on the break, so I'll just let you finish your thoughts on it so that we can move on.
Okay, yeah, so I was saying that first, I think it starts from self-esteem. We are not comfortable in our own skin. If I am dark, for instance, I should be happy that I am dark. I should be happy with it. In fact, if we're all the same, there's a problem somewhere. Like there's a problem. There's no uniqueness. It means that there's nothing unique about us. But when we have black, light skin, there's black, there's ebony, there's, different, you're like,
Different
wow,
shades.
different shades. This is so beautiful because there's beauty in,
Diversity.
in diversity. Yeah, that's the word. There's beauty in diversity. So I feel like we need to be comfortable in our own skin. Our parents who should help, they should encourage us. Yeah. For instance, you should train your child from a very tender age to be comfortable, to be bold, to love his or herself. For instance, your child comes home and tell you, okay, comparison is one of the things that has helped, that made children to be reserved and not really feel like they are not too good. Because when your child comes home and brings second position, and you're like, you took second, the person when carry first gets in it. I know they are encouraging us, yes. My parents used to do that sometimes then, but they don't do it again. Well, I'm like, okay. You say, oh, you did, oh, that's very good. You know that you can come first. And this is how you can come first. Like, I'm like, oh, it means that I can come first, actually. Like, it's done you telling me that Mama Osamu Piki when carry first, how many heads you get. That's really, really not. Your child, even no matter how small, celebrate the child's progress at that particular time. Later, you can say, this thing I did is so lovely. You can improve, and all of that. So I think really, they really need to help. And also, community, environment, we should, our traditional rulers, our religious leaders, they need to do a lot, because one of the things that also shape us in this part of the world is religion. Yeah, that's one of the things. We're not like, that, in fact, it has a very, very high percentage. It guides our thinking, it guides it shapes our mindsets. So we need to do so much and let our religious leaders be, this is how it is. There is no lay down. You don't have to be this. You don't have, and because all of these pressures, they come from these places. They come from the religious side. They come from the family. They come from our society. This person is this person is that. This person did this. Go and do that too as well. You said something about the area being a normal thing and all of that. I think it was last year I was doing a research and I got to know that they actually go and learn work like a skill. Just the same way you carry your child that when you go and learn how to make hairdressing, you carry your child, the child that you gave birth to go and learn how to defraud people. Like, why? I was really surprised. Like, how? So these are the things that we should talk about. Let's sound it in our churches. Let's sound it in our schools. Let's teach them honesty. Let's teach them integrity. Civic education. Teach them civic engagement. Teach them volunteering. So all of this would help us.
A long way to help. That's wonderful. Okay, on a final note, because we'll soon be leaving here, so we'll head into the last few minutes on the show. Let's talk about how we give these things so much nicknames that are so fancy, and what can government, not only the society, do about this? I don't know if people are aware that this generation are very computer literate. They now even have applications where they do prostitution and like they call it now, hookup. So they have apps where you can book dates to get girls or guys, whichever your preference is, and you're good to go. I think you even pay online, I don't know. But they have applications that they use. The guys who are fraudsters are not just called Yahoo Yahoo. We used to call them Yahoo boys and all that. They just run streets. They do streets. They're in the streets now. So when some older generations here said, the guy, they run streets, they won't even know what you're talking about. So these names are so coded and they're so normal, and you wouldn't even know what's going on. I don't know. But what suggestions would you give to government at this time to also encourage this generation to at least take it easy on themselves and take it easy on us?
Okay. Okay, so first I think I'll start with the names and try and define names that have been. So first I like to say that no matter how fine they try to paint it remains the same thing.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that the government should bring up, they should bring up people who would go on research. It's not just about finding solutions to problem. You should be able to identify the cause of a problem first before thinking of finding solutions to it, because it will help you to think better. That this is why this thing is coming from. Even if, for instance, you discover that in a place they don't have jobs, maybe you want to know why is it that there's unemployment? Why is it that people do not go to work? Is it that they are lazy? Is it that there are no jobs? What are the things? So let's know what is really the problem, so we can face it. So for that, I would like to say let them set up agencies. Our NGOs are doing, they're trying because I've been a beneficiary of some NGOs and they are really trying. But we need the government to support these persons. Let there be collaboration. Okay, what is really going on in this place? Why are they like this? Then try to, cut it from the roots, not from the from the top. Let's start from, what are the findings? Why are they giving it that findings? Let's have advert placements. Let's have, this thing is wrong. It is what it is. It is wrong, and everything. It would help. Some persons don't even know what they are going into. It's just like a friend just said, this and that. They don't know. It's until they get there and they're like, wow, so this is what they really do here. So orientation too would help.
Interesting. All right. Talking about people coming to learn fraud. Huh. It took me a while to understand what they call HK. I think it's HK.
Same here,
Yeah.
HK.
I, at a point, I was not calling it HQ. Like, I just felt it should be called headquarters. So it should be HQ. Why are you calling it HK? Like, if you know why they call it HK, please let me know. Like, what's the K? What does it stand for? I want to know. I'm curious. And then you see these guys already sitting down, and they're all there. They eat once a day. It's like school hostel.
Yeah.
And one of them will go get all the foods for the entire household that day, but they drink a whole lot. And that's it. So I saw a video online where they were flogging some of the boys that they refused to cash out. There are terms there. You refuse to cash out. Then they now said some of the other guys should be dancing. Since they're not great cash out, maybe they entertain chairman.
Wow. Wow.
So they were dancing. And people travel the way you carry girls to go do trafficking outside of Nigeria. They don't know they are going to be trafficked for prostitution reasons. That's how people also travel out of Nigeria, maybe because there's no power. Their friends tell them, let's just take you somewhere. You will make money after 6 months. And then they get to this particular African country where there's more stable power, usually Ghana or Togo. And they stay there for a couple of months. If they don't cash out, they flog them, they beat them. Like, guys go through so much to learn fraud. And people are even making music of it, and we're playing the songs, and we're dancing to them, and we're celebrating the artist. So we have a long way to go. Well, Tosin, on the final notes before we leave now, what are your final words on this Gen Z vices and way forward, or maybe even a word to the Alpha generation? So that's, I don't know if they're even worse than the Gen Z now, so.
Time will tell. Okay, so first, I really would love to establish that we finding solutions to some of these vices is not just a sole responsibility. It will require a collaborative effort from the government, from religious leaders, from parents. Parents have see the kind of assignment that our parents have to do. They really, I know that they are trying to also make money for us, but they really have a whole lot to do. And you know, so one of the things I also like to say, let there be fundings. There are some persons that they have beautiful business ideas, but there are no support. Nobody is supporting them and everything. Let them come, let them pitch these ideas to you. See how you can help them. If you would have to, help them, curate it in such a way that it would fit in, let them do it. I think I went somewhere. The first time I was to write my CV myself and I was to submit. So someone that helped me, and she was like, oh, this CV, you will not get a job with this kind of CV. And she just helped me. And that particular CV, when I want to use it, I just need to touch it a little bit. And like, it has given me so many opportunities. That was somebody, like an individual in the society, that just helped me. And so let's do that. Let's help. I know that we understand this is an information age, but the truth is some persons do not still have access to this information. Or let's say we are in the era of misinformation and disinformation. That's just how it is. As much as there's information everywhere, but the way the information is going, some persons are getting it another way. Yeah, they are being misinformed and all of that. So let's try to ensure that they get correct information. Let there be funding, grants. Some of these NGOs are doing so much with grants, helping people. Let there be capacity building workshop, to help youths, teach them leadership skills, teach them the basic tenets of the society, living peacefully, like teach them integrity. If you should teach a child integrity from the young age, when the child says that if I defraud, but this is not good. This is not good. It's against societal standard. The child will not want to, go into it. Also, let's reduce the pressure. In fact, I used to see men, brothers, like, I pity them so much because the boy child has so much responsibility. They tell you that, shouldn't you know that you are the first son of this house? In fact, the way that they've told you that you are the first son, you're already scared, like, first son. So please, we understand that they are the first son. We understand that, oh, the child is a boy. The child is not your savior. Like, I know that we want to give back to our parents. In fact, personally, I really would love to give back to my parents because they've invested so much. But let's bring it down. let's lower that tension. We know that we want to do it, but don't always rub it to our face, because we want to do more. Like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do. So let's lessen the pressure from the parents' angle, from society angle. You can be just fine if you are living peaceful. You are able to get what you need. Then you are fine. You should be able to manage. It's okay to start like that. My generation do not believe that it's okay to start from those days. Our parents believe that you start from ground to the top, but my generation believe that they will have to start from the top. Sorry for the dramatic, but that's just the day. We should tell you that you can. It's okay for you to start little. It's a normal thing for you. In fact, the tree do not just grow. The tree starts like from just a root, little by little, little by little, then it gains roots and stands solidly. And that's just it. I think that would help us.
Thank you so much,
That would
Tessa.
help us.
It's been fun talking with her. We're supposed to have another lady who's also very vibrant join her today on the show. But unfortunately, Blessing couldn't make it. She sent notes, she sent words, our apologies, but she had a serious emergency, and I hope it's for good. She couldn't join us, but maybe some other time we'll bring her here on the show to talk about some other youth-related issue. Now, this generation is going through a lot, and the fixing of it, like we've established today, must start from the home front. Parents have a lot to do. Please, you also stop having babies that you cannot cater for. Then you put so much pressure on them and remind them how much sacrifices you've paid and how you've suffered, and they just need to do something because the other person has bought their mom a car or built them a house. Please, I beg, the pressure is getting worse. That's what they say. Reduce it, I beg, eh? Take it down a little. Let the Generation Z breathe and breathe good air and teach them the right thing. It might be a bit late now to start teaching them. They're already grown, but you can still direct. You can still give a few instructions that will help shaping their lives. It's not too late to add words of wisdom in a good way. Then there's something I took out from the show today. It says our parents still do not understand effective communication. You do something wrong, they just go ahead and tell you it's not right. But they need to understand that the Generation Z will ask you why. That generation, they're very curious. They would always ask why. Please learn to convince them why it is wrong, because you cannot just tell them, not do me, not good. They will do it too, and they'll do it again and again. All right, we're going to go on no more breaks. We're done for today. All right, we'll be back next week at exactly 1:30 p.m. with another discussion on the other side of the news, flip side. I'm Daisy Leo Sikidi. Thank you, Tosin. All right, have a great day.